Well, hey, looks like we're live. I'm sorry I kept you guys waiting in the chat there. Um, Today we are going to look at the Elon Musk Roman salute. And I want to talk about that a little bit. Want to say hello to people in the chat. Western Restorationist, MK Ultra Victim. Good to have you. Nice to have new people here. Oiga Vault is here. Thank you for joining. Splattercat, my old buddy, is here. Let's read some comments before we get started. Cringe people doing base gestures. Yes. Besides that, we're so back, baby. So we'll get to that. Back from what? Well, do I have to tap the sign, dude? Oiga Vault nailed it right there. I mean, I think it's fun. We can have fun with this, and it's cool. We on the far right have a way of taking things that happen in media and memeing it around, like somehow twisting it to our purpose, and then recontextualizing it, and then essentially it's like stealing the enemy's weapons and using it against them. So I think we could certainly do. Well, we're already doing it. I mean, the day after this happens, the memes and the gifs out there are just piling in. They're really funny. So we'll do a quick look at the video itself, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on this. So let's. I haven't done a StreamYard in a long time, so I apologize. But I am getting back on track, and I thought I would jump in and make some commentary on something that I think is actually a really, really important kind of road sign on the path towards white well-being, towards the far right getting mainstreamed. And we'll get into that shortly. Let's look at the clip.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
97.8% of prospects don't.
Man, I just got massively sabotaged by that stupid commercial. I hate how that happens. Let's see if I can fast forward that. I apologize. This is just the usual garbage. You know how that works. So I'll turn the volume off on that. This guy gets some free time on my my space here, but let's hit skip, and here we go. Okay. This can only happen to me. I'm trying to get back here, and I'm trying to play the clip, and then this stupidity happens. I apologize. Elon did the big whoop-de-doo Roman salute, but there's even a question of but I guarantee he knew what he was doing. This is so typical, this bullshit right here. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we all know that he threw Roman. Okay, so there you go. Sorry, it's not so fancy. I guess I need a bigger.
This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
My heart goes out to you. What a cover up. I guarantee you he knew what he was doing when he did that. I mean, nobody makes that gesture and then says, "Oh, my heart goes out to you." Now, you can tell he's never thrown a Roman in his life, you know, just by how poorly done that was. But let's back off, look at the big picture. So the HB1 visa debacle that happened not long ago. The mask slipped. He showed his true face. He's like, yeah, flood the tech world with Indian blah 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 blah, and it just showed, you know, that he's not America first. We generally know this, right? The whole timeline of Elon Musk is this guy who, you know, has sort of nefarious background connections. His mom, Freemasonry, this, that, and all kinds of stuff. You can just Google that stuff. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, I'm going to buy Twitter and protect free speech. And he's been on this timeline of I'm your man. I'm on your side, you know. And then just as Trump's about to get inaugurated and he's in the club, you know, you can imagine he got a little too big for his britches. And then this HB1 visa thing came out and he showed his true face. So our guys attacked the hell out of him and they didn't let it up. So he had to start running damage control, and damage control is changing the topic and talking about how much he cares about these other issues that are related to our cause or this or that or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's really just, you know, like, oh, look, a squirrel, you know, like forget about the fact that I'm selling out white people and Americans in general for, you know, the foreign labor. And then you can start connecting some dots in terms of like J.P. Vance, the vice president, having an Indian wife, and Vivek Ramaswamy and all these other people that you can see that they're just drooling, you know, about, oh, we're going to get into the Trump administration and we're going to get our dirty fingers all over everything. You know, you get the big picture. I don't have to expand on that. So that's the context. We just kind of came out of that. And then we have this inauguration. Musk comes out, you know. By the way, Bannon was Steve Bannon, whatever you think of him, he was extremely anti-Musk. He was saying we've got to get Musk out of the Trump administration. That's a whole other rabbit hole, but I think that's an interesting point. I think that it helps to destabilize the Musk illusion, if you will, on the sort of Republicard right. So what is happening is we are seeing the emergence of what I call the fake right. I'm sure other people have used that term, but I think we need to normalize this concept of the fake right. That being that, you know, Trump is the Trojan horse for the deep state. Trump is the Trojan horse for the small hat, big nose tribe. We can see that as plain as day. And it's a very interesting time that we're living in, where you have, you know, the Candace Owens, Stu Peters, Nick Fuentes, all these on the spectrum of right-wing media, people who are more mainstream and well-established are starting to talk about the JQ. People are bringing it up on Joe Rogan's show. I never know when I see a real Joe Rogan clip or not, because there's so many deep fakes out there now. It's starting to get kind of clunky, the whole AI revolution. So this is the context of all these things. Of course, Musk knows that when he comes out, he's got his, couple minutes on camera. This is an historic event, and he throws a Roman. What the heck, So to me, that is like a fake. It's like the meme. I forget the actor's name. He dressed up as a teenager with a skateboard, a creepy looking guy. And he says, like, hey, fellow teenagers, like, I'm one of you. You guys know the meme. I just can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, it's just that whole, like, hey, guys, I'm one of you bullshit. And I mean, we're not falling for it on the far right or the deep right. Maybe we should change the name to the deep right. That's interesting. Steve Buscemi, thank you, Splattercat. And I think we got to get the message out. We got to push it out there that this is fake. I call this kind of event news fodder. So news fodder, it's to do something controversial so that the news has something to report, so that all the talk shows, blah blah blah, have something to react to. Otherwise, what like, oh, it snowed today. Like, what else have they to talk about? I'm sure that it throws it throws a wrench into some things. Naturally, the left is going to respond, and the right wing are going to say, oh, no, it wasn't a Roman. He was throwing his heart out to people, because, the Republicards can't read a book on history. In the age of information, ignorance is a choice, and they choose ignorance when it comes to World War II and the grand rabbit hole that goes down to the JQ, etc. So whatever, this is where we're at on the playing field, and he throws a Roman. In some ways it's funny, in some ways you can make cool memes out of it, but it's, to me, kind of like waving a flag, like and the race begins, zoom, and they wave the flag and all the cars leave the starting line. It's like, okay, let's pretend this fake right-wing Trump administration culture. It's the dawning of the fake right, if you will. So let the races begin, and we'll say, okay, coming up on the outside, we got Tim Pool, who has shown himself to be a clear cuck and somebody who is working for the Zionists. And in the middle lane, we've got Candace Owens. She's a Christian, but yet somehow she's broken off from Judeo-Christianity, and she's black, so she can say anything. And coming in on the inside line, we've got Joel Davis, and all this, the whole range of people on the track, riding forward into the future here. So where's Donald Kent in all this? That's a good question. You shall soon find out. But anyway, I just thought it was significant to come forward, make a statement about this historic event. It's just a kind of a little short show on that. I just wanted to say, don't fall for it, guys. He's not our guy. Be vigilant. I think that there's that after 4 years of being brutalized by a fake election and Biden Harris, we're so black-pilled, and we're so cynical that even when Trump does something good, we're just like, meh. You know what I mean? Because it's like when you've been repeatedly, ran over by the Biden Harris train, your bones are crushed and you can't move. It's hard to get excited about anything anymore because it's just so fucking fake and gay. So it's hard, and I kind of feel on the bright side, though, we should celebrate the victories. We should maintain some form of balance. Let's keep a balanced mind in it. We on the far right, we're pretty passionate. We're very fiery. We've got a very high IQ group of people who are, we have years of shitlording under our belt, and we recognize the dangers. We know the tricks, the ins and outs. But I think that where we're lacking as a movement is positive thinking. Where we're lacking is having positive visions. We talk about all this kind of Roman culture and pride in Western civilization and the greatness of white biospirit and all these things. Well, it's time to show for that. It's time to be that. It's time to act the role, if you will, and it's not just lifting in the gym. I'm talking about a mental mindset, a spiritual mindset, if you will, in which you wake up every day and you say, amazing things are going to happen today. I know it. And you tap into the divine within yourself. And then that, if we connect to that as a movement, as a people, we will be formidable, because we know that our enemies use a kind of Kabbalistic black magic. They are plugged in, have been plugged in for centuries to that black magic. We need to be using, here it comes, white magic. That's highly quotable, actually, now that I think about it. We need to be using white magic. Oh my God, that is too weird almost how that falls right into place, isn't it? So let's celebrate the victories. Let's have some fun with the memes and whatnot. Let's continue to warn people of the fake right. And let's do some white magic, guys. Let's have some positive thinking. We there's no, how do I put this? There's no benefit to just being black-pilled and cynical and shitting on each other all the time about, we'll see about that. Just stop being so curmudgeonly. Try to be more positive in your mentality and then share that. I'm going to take a quick moment to just say hi to Saul Luckman in the chat. You guys need to follow his channel. This is a major dude right here. We're going to have him on my show. I'm going to be doing a review of his new book. Lots to talk about there, but getting back on the theme here, your mind creates reality. And it's a kind of a metaphysical truth that the right wing, the far right specifically, needs to tap into. The playing field is not on the top surface. It's not this kind of bullshit that we see in the mainstream media. It's actually in our hearts, in our minds. We literally are the stuff of the movement, not the internet. And the internet's just a kind of a mirror that reflects back to us. But that is a kind of feedback loop. And, we have to move forward. This is the Trump administration. We got, for better or worse, however you want to look at it, we've got 4 years. We don't know what's coming after that. There's a lot of talk about UFO disclosure in these next 4 years. I urge people in our movement to start getting ahead of that. You know about Bitcoin, right? People joked about that in the past. Look at it now. Well, it's time to get plugged in on that. I recommend Dark Journalist X on YouTube. Dark Journalist X. Look him up. This guy is solid. He ties politics, the deep state, the current affairs in the world to the UFO data. And it's data driven. It's not hippy dippy. We're all one race, love each other, hoop-de-doo. So, and I don't mean there's anything wrong with loving each other or whatever, but I'm just sort of kind of moving on. Like, I know that our guys are very data driven. We're about truth, whereas the left is about consent, where it's like, oh, we all have to agree on the same thing because we're a cult, no, and that's not us. So the war is taking on a new shape because the enemy has just moved into our territory. They are pretending to be us. And we know that they do that. They've been doing that for centuries. Hello, fellow white man. I'm on your side. We really should have gay marriage and blah 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 blah. All the stuff that they just keep moving the goalposts, so to speak. I think you know what I mean. So we have to dig in. We got to go deeper. We got to go harder. We got to think more, and we're gonna have to throw off the heavy coat of this black pill nihilism. Enough with the nihilism, okay? Stay true to yourself, stay true to your community, reach out. Think every day, what can I do for my people? Take JFK's, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Let's say that for the movement. Don't ask what the movement can do for you, but what you can do for the movement. because literally this is it. Like, we are decentralized. We are a people. We are a momentum. We are a consciousness. And this is the trouble that our enemies have, is they can't box us in. And anytime somebody, steps up, they'll knock you down and they go after you. And I know that that's an issue that we've got to get around. But yet, here we are. Not only are we still here, but we're growing exponentially. The Overton window is flying to the far right. I mean, if you compare right now to, say, Trump's first administration, we were like punch a Nazi back then, and we were very ghettoized. But now you have, all these Stu Peters and, Lucas Gage and Keith Woods, and we've got so many amazing. And looking in the field of comedy, actually, I want to make a big salute to Sam Hyde. I'm really, really impressed with the new kind of vlogging he's doing, where he kind of does serious commentary, has nice lighting, it gives it a little aesthetic. And he's not sarcastic. He's like, adult talk, like, okay, these are the realities of where we're at. That I love it. That's like super, super sweet right now. So I'm going to take a quick look into the chat. I want to run down any comments, questions, thoughts, if you guys want to chat a bit more. But I really just thought this would be a short video here. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Let's see. You do got to wonder what he was thinking when he threw the salute. So this is Splattercat's comment. I think he knew very well what he was thinking. I think that was highly planned. That was definitely planned out. The dude's a media dude. He knows, Musk knows that people are going to meme the hell out of that. He knows that that's going to be on the front cover of all these news channels, like, and then there's going to have to be like panel discussions about, what did he really mean and what does it mean and blah, 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 blah. So let's move on here. Too many doomer addicts who are our guys. It's a drug to them. This is dangerously true. I'm really disturbed by that. We got to move on, guys. Let's move on. Let go of the doomer addiction. Donald, this was discussed like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Where were you? Which one? The doomer topic? I'm assuming that's what you were talking about. These discussions are always in the air. The fake right, that's perfect. Thank you, Jilly Storm. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can popularize that term. Yeah, he's just a money bag. White magic, yes. Let's see, what have we got? Obligatory statement about how you need to make a Substack. Yeah, instead of Substack, I'm making a WordPress, so this is underway. Let's see. Splattercat says, magic is the act of imposing your will into the universe. We must embrace our white magic. So imagine the power of will that it took to create the Roman Empire. Imagine the power of will it took to, send a robot to Mars. There's very, very many things. We are a minority on planet Earth. White people are a minority, yet we've created the modern world. English is the dominant language of planet Earth. There's so many things that are signposts and proof of the power of our will. Of course, this harkens to Friedrich Nietzsche, the will to power. It's time to tap into that. And I think half of that means like giving yourself a bit of space between the world of media and you yourself, because media has this kind of gravity where it just kind of sucks you in, and we all feel it, we all experience it, but we kind of have to push back a little bit and start focusing on our visions and being, an example of what we want the world to be. Because if we can't talk about and visualize extremely clearly what the world has to look like for our demographic, then where are we going? Because we spend 90% of our time bitching about shit. And yeah, it's just a thing. It's okay. It's real. It's got to happen. We're helping get the news out and this and that. But let's try to I think it's time we changed. I really think it's time that with the Trump administration coming in, we got to get back in the ring, But if we get back in the ring using our old techniques, I don't think it's going to work because our enemy has their new armor on, and it's called the fake right. Trump administration is filled to the brim with like the worst deep state small hats you can imagine. It's just disgusting and sad. So, but again, not letting that overwhelm us. Let's start strategizing. Let's get out there. Let's change the world. All right. God bless you guys. Love you. Stay tuned. More to come.